Okay, it's August 23rd, it's 10:56 a.m. I just did a 15-minute video. Was not sure if I liked it or not, so I'm just doing another one, and if this one feels better, I'll use this one instead. Hopefully it will be better. A lot has gone on in the last month, and I did my presentation as I mentioned in the last video, which occurred on July 26th. I did a blog entry, which I think was about 2,000 words in regards to it, where I explained it in detail, so I don't need to waste my time dealing with that here. What did happen for me, it was a massive failure if I didn't already mention that, but what occurred to me the same evening of it was that I had spent all this time with this outline. I got 162 slides ready for the PowerPoint presentation, and that from looking at that, it occurred to me that I had a book. And so that's what I've been using quite a bit of my focus on lately, is just trying to write as much as I can. I think I went like maybe 10 days without writing before a couple days ago, but the days that I have been writing, I think I've been averaging a couple thousand words. I'm trying to make this as clear as possible. I'm trying to paint as clear a picture as possible that I can. I'm using all my energy to be lucid and clear here. And when I'm getting fried like I am constantly, when I feel like I'm being electrocuted constantly, it helps to communicate. It helps for me to talk. It helps me to talk with others. It helps me to write. Anything that does communication, anything creative can be helpful. Playing the drums can be helpful. Getting in water is helpful. So these activities are helpful for me. If I'm the best thing in the world is if I could just communicate about salvation more with people, stay active, so be unaware of the fact that I'm being fried constantly. And if somehow I get enough attention that some healers will volunteer to heal me for free or a nominal charge, and maybe if I get rich I'll pay them back later, which is the way it should work, that's my greatest hope from doing this, is that I can begin to attract attention. I can become a voice for salvation. Now, we just had the eclipse 2 days ago. It's August 23rd. We just had the Great American Eclipse on August 21st, and this was a highly anticipated event for years by some people, some eclipse chasers, and a big thing that was on the radar for a lot of people that are interested in planetary transformation, salvation, especially if you live in the United States. United States obviously is a very important country to the entire world, mostly because it messes with the entire world, and mostly because it's the chief tool of the Satanists to control the world. So it is an important event. And it looks very important for many reasons, including the fact that the last total eclipse in this country was 1776, the fact that it was a grand trine eclipse, which means a triangle was formed. If you look at the planets on a map, you'd see it in a circle, you'd see a triangle between a whole bunch of planets. I think the last harmonic convergence, I think it was labeled a harmonic convergence as well, which means a whole hell of a lot of planets are in that triangle. And I think the last time there was a great cosmic convergence supposedly was 1987. Now, my son was 9 years old for this eclipse that just occurred, and I was 9 years old at the time, so maybe some significance there, I don't know. But for the most part, did I miss anything? So 1776 last time, grand trine fire eclipse, and path of totality came right across the United States. So other than that, I don't know if there's any significant factors I'm missing. There probably are. I think there was a whole list of like 10 or something that I looked at the other day. So I'm probably missing a couple. But I'll relate my experience of the eclipse, and then I'll tell you what I think the message is. The real message that we need to get here. Because I'm a practical guy. So we went outside, we sat under the umbrella, and we just kind of hung out during the eclipse. It was partial here, so we didn't have a dark sky or anything. All we had was a change in quality of the light. And I think I described it as there's like a glistening, silvery kind of hue, or something like that. Because that's kind of what it seemed like. There's something different. There's like a certain kind of sheen. It's like sort of darkish, but sparkly at the same time. So that's what I noticed. And now the message that we need to glean from this whole eclipse and our anticipation of the eclipse is simply that we are it. I am it. I'm the center of my universe, you're the center of your universe, we are it. It all comes down to us, it all comes down to our decision. And the significance of the eclipse is it's the last time we're going to attribute our transformation, the transformation of the world, aka ascension or salvation, to external phenomena. Those can coincide with our decision, and they oftentimes will. In fact, the more that we start to synchronize with one another, the more we will start to see the universe synchronize with us as well. But these events that occur out there in the cosmos, outside of this world, are irrelevant to our ascension, are irrelevant to salvation. It's all us. It's all me. For me, all I can say is that it's all me. It has nothing to do with you, it's just all me. I have to do what I'm going to do. I have to do what I believe to be the best path for me, and that's it. And that's the eclipse in a nutshell. Well, a couple things to share here. I completed this CD recently, and if you go to dissolvingthedream.com under resources or donation or something, I have a link to this, adamroseproductions.com. That's where I have these CDs. It's called Crucible. It's for sale on CD Baby. It's for sale, I think, on Bandcamp as well. You can get the physical copies through CD Baby, but I'm very happy with it, very proud of it. I've, just like Dissolving the Dream, I've received no attention for my musical endeavors either. I've done a lot of work, just as I did that presentation for Dissolving the Dream. An enormous amount of work went into this right here. For someone that's getting completely fried, completely electrocuted all the time, just existing here is difficult. The fact that I made this is a huge, huge damn pat on the back for me. I should have like a big old gorilla scratching my back right now. Or how about an orangutan? Maybe that would be better. They seem a little more gentle, maybe a little more intuitive than a gorilla. But I did a really good job with this, and I'm very happy with it. And I'm working on another one. I'm 8 months away from being 40 years old as of right now, and that's meaningful. I'd like to say that it's not meaningful. I'd like to say that I don't believe in this bullshit about aging, but it happens here. And 40 is like, holy fuck, I'm actually doing this. I'm actually going through this bullshit of the human condition. I'm actually made it to 40, and we haven't fucking saved the world yet. Whoa! Now, with regards to that, we have in the Bible some people like Methuselah who lived to be 962. And your idiotic professor in your university will tell you that it was because they measured their age in months. Why? Because they're projecting their reality onto then. Because it must have been pretty much the same then as now. Absurd. There's a lot of buildings that were made in the last couple thousand years that I don't think we have a real good explanation for how they built them. One of them was Coral Castle in Florida. A guy had an anti-gravity machine and did that build. It's not exactly a building, but it's structures. He did that pretty much on his own. In my book, I'm talking about Stonehenge too. I was looking at Stonehenge, and I was looking at the rocks in Stonehenge, and I was like, well, those look like they've been weathered for several 100,000 years. So this whole idea of 5,000 years old, yeah, right. Well, this one guy did some calculations. He figured it was 263,000 years old based on true north. But let's say 5,000 years they did it. Tell me how they got a 4,000-pound stone on top of those 13-foot tall stones that were standing on the ground. Tell me how they got that one stone up there with primitive tools, technology. It's absurd. I mean, all of this is absurd. This whole idea that you're going to have to urinate and defecate today is absurd. That's just normal shit to human beings, but it's not normal to the soul. It's not normal. None of this stuff is normal. And we've got this whole awakening thing upside down. You know, we've been fooled. We've been duped by all this Eastern crap especially about how we can manipulate our consciousness to wake up. Because waking up does not entail that you become a blissful idiot that's completely oblivious to the world. Waking up means that you recognize where you are, that this is a prison, and that you have a job to do. that this is a workplace, that this is a full-time job. It's a full-time job for me. And if you are truly awake, you realize that being here is a job. You realize that this is not your home. Just as ordinary dumb shits get in their car and they go to work or ride the train or however they get there, they go to their job and then they come home. That's their life. That really is what they believe life is. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get how they tolerate it. I don't get how they tolerate this idea that they're going to age and die. I don't get it. It's completely foreign to me. It's absurd. I don't know how I ever could believe it either. I don't think I really did. Because, for the most part, what happens to other people is more of an idea. The idea that we're going to get old, that just doesn't really register with a teenager. You can kind of think of it, but they don't really get it. Whoa, what's involved with that? They don't really get, wow, that's going to happen to me. But this really is going on. And that's what waking up is about. That, holy fuck, this really is going on. Because I had this idea, along with many other people that was into spirituality, a couple decades ago especially, that this was about waking up and becoming free from the pain of this. But it's quite the opposite. We become more sensitive, more intuitive. And as we become more powerful, there are forces that want to interfere with us more and more because they see us as a threat to the architecture of the prison. Now, about a year ago, I broke my leg a year and 8 days ago. I was confined to the couch most of the time, and I was really thinking that suicide was the only way out. So I ordered this book here. You see it? I'm on page 18, which is like nothing, because the pages are short here, and there was an introduction. But I started reading it yesterday. I hadn't picked it up until then. I haven't even looked at the pictures. Most I've done until then was maybe just do this. Use it as a little fan for a few seconds. It's a door jammer. It's a big book. But it's about how to commit suicide. It's about how to do it in a way that's not so dang messy and not so dang painful. And it's a good book. It's a book that we need as people. Because we should know how to exit our bodies when we're ready to exit them. If we decided we'd have enough life at 40, 50, 60, we should be allowed to exit our bodies. That's our right. It should be our right. And it's the satanic institutions with college-educated dumb fucks who say, you can't do it. We're going to keep your ass alive as long as possible. Why? Because there's entities that want to feed on you. And that's what they're doing. They're programmed to serve the agenda of these dark entities. But I don't want to commit suicide. I don't want to kill myself. And I'm making a declaration right now that if I do kill myself, because things get too painful for me, and they are really at the brink of being too painful for me to remain here much longer. They're very, very close, which is why I started reading this yesterday. But I'm going to make it very clear that if I do kill myself, I'm going to make a video first. Not a morbid video, but I'm going to make a video stating that I'm going to do it. Because I don't want anyone to think that I just decided to go do it someday on a whim. Because that'll be a clear indication that something else killed me. I'm not going to die of natural causes. That's not going to happen. I'm too healthy. So if I die without express approval of my own suicide, you know that it was something else. And I'm just making that clear right now. But I don't want to die. I want to be here to help. I want to be here for my son. I want to be here for my cat. I want to be here for other people. I want to be here for people I care about. I want to be here for you. But right now I'm getting no help whatsoever, and that's very, very painful. It's very painful to be electrocuted constantly and being in total isolation. And so I'm going to read this. I'm going to read about different methods like helium and whatever else they got in here. So I don't want to blow my brains out. I don't want to leave a huge mess. I don't want to leave a horrific scene. But part of transforming the world is going to be being able to exert our bodies when we're ready. I gotta stop for 15 minutes.